effect today in Tennessee. One forbids Tennessee cities from adopting so-called sanctuary policies that defy federal immigration and deportation guidelines. Another law calls on police agencies that seize property to notify the person within 5 days if they plan a forfeiture hearing. And a law now requires local school districts to come up with a plan to reduce lead in drinking water in schools. Yet another new law creates a statewide program to look at how best to reduce the suicide rate in Tennessee. 10 News reporter Cole Sullivan spoke to an East Tennessee lawmaker who sponsored that bill and has already introduced new legislation on that very topic for 2019. Cole?
John, Knoxville State Representative Rick Staples says teen suicide has become an emergency.
This is at a crisis level across the state of Tennessee.
Representative Rick Staples says suicide is a huge problem in Tennessee, and it's growing. The rate of people taking their own lives has increased every year for the past 3, up to more than 1,100 in 2017.
It's affecting us all, no matter what your skin color, socioeconomic background, or your political party. These are our babies.
Staples signed on to a new law taking effect today that he says is the first step in addressing the issue.
It supports the departments and organizations that deal with this every day, capturing the information so people can have these statistics to look at. And then it's also shared information.
The law creates a statewide program to examine what plays a role in Tennessee's suicide deaths and what can be done to stop them.
This is not the catch-all, but it's definitely a step to say to these young people, your life means something, you are important, your life is valuable.
He's also introduced a resolution for the upcoming session declaring teen suicide a crisis in the state.
It just takes 1 second to let them know we're thinking about them. Before you make this decision, reach out to somebody.
He says raising awareness and reducing the stigma that surrounds mental health can make a huge difference for people of all ages.
We care and we love you, and you matter, your life matters. That's the reason we're doing it.
A legislative action designed to combat a growing problem.
If you or someone you love needs help, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The number is 1-800-273-TALK. You can also text the letters TN to 741-741. Robin and John.
Critical conversation, Cole. Thank you.
As the partial government shutdown approaches day